Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and today I'm talking about the new Kyle Mooney directed horror comedy Y2K. It's one part Superbad, one part Maximum Overdrive, albeit with much less cocaine. I didn't say none, I said much less. So let's dig into Y2K. For those of you who don't remember, for those of you who were born after the before times, the 1900s, where I'm from, Y2K was what we call the year 2000, and okay, so here's my very brief history of the Y2K bug issue, coming from someone who is not a computer expert at all. Basically, when they started using computers back in the mid-20th century, they used 2 digits to abbreviate the date. So, like, instead of 1965, they wrote 65, instead of 1965 because it saved room. But then when you hit 1999 going to 2000, it would have gone from 99 to 00, and there was a concern that that was going to confuse all the computers and potentially have devastating effects for stuff like bank software and could potentially, like, cripple the economy. Now, you had these, like, doomsday preppers that were like, as soon as it hits midnight, the lights are going to go out, and I got a generator, I got 10 years worth of dried food, and a hunting rifle, and a list of my neighbors with more supplies than me just in case I need it. I'm exaggerating that last part. But it was a genuine concern, and honestly, it could have been really bad, and the only reason it wasn't was because a bunch of companies spent a bunch of money to update their software so that it wouldn't do that. Also, very fun random fact about Y2K, there was even a song called Y2K, kind of gimmicky, but that was the point, kind of Weird Al-esque, by a guy named Vincent James. Vincent James is a musician. He actually went on the Jenny Jones show. She was a talk show host back in the 90s. And the episode was about, like, the Y2K craze, where they had, like, some of these doomsday preppers on the show, and then he came out and performed his song Y2K. How do I know Vincent James? Because I know him by another name, Dad. Yes, my dad is a musician, and he wrote and performed that song. And just for you guys here, here's a little snippet of it.
Y2K, it's getting better every day. We woke up and it's alright, now we're living in the Y2K. We've got American Airlines in the sky, down at the station, the train's on time. Got my car phone and my pager and my microwave, I got my Windows 98 and my MTV.
I'm going to put a link to the full song in the description if you want to check it out. I'm also going to put a link to my dad's current organization. He runs a nonprofit called Keep Music Alive. They do a lot of really great work for, like, kids' music and music education in schools. So if that's something you're interested in, if that's something you want to support or learn more about, definitely check out the link in the description and, go support them. Now on to the movie. I knew what I was getting going in. I knew, like, the first act basically has to be Superbad. You've got Jaden Martell. You've got that other kid whose name I'm drawing a blank on, but he's from New Zealand and he was in Deadpool 2. And they're like best friends. They're your Michael Cera, your Jonah Hill. Also, fun fact, this is the second time Alicia Silverstone has played a mom in a horror movie to Jaden Martell. See a much more bleak, disturbing horror movie, The Lodge, for the first time that happened. And it plays out like your typical, not quite nostalgia bait, but almost nostalgia bait. You've got the footage of Bill Clinton talking about the Y2K bug. You've got people doing the Macarena. You've got needle drops that are just oozing in late 90s. Kyle Mooney, these were his formative years, and you can tell, like, this is his Stranger Things. This is his, happy days, so to speak. Once the machines turn, though, is when the movie goes from, like, funny teen comedy to just off-the-wall, insane, absurd comedy. And I have mixed feelings about it, which I'll get into. You have really good supporting performances from people like Lachlan Watson, from the Chucky series and the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, and Mason Gooding from Screams 5 and 6. So you have a lot of strong horror, players in this. You even have Argyle from Stranger Things basically playing a douchier version of that character where he's kind of a bully. So all that being said, I love the setup for this, and the first act, I think, feels like it's from a totally different movie and could very easily just be that other movie, which I like. When we get to the turn, when we get to that second act, when we know the machines have to start to try to kill everybody, when it goes full Maximum Overdrive, it goes off the wall, it's ridiculous, it's absurd, it's silly, but I feel like it never quite... It takes itself just this much too seriously. It doesn't fully commit to trolling the genre and trolling the audience, but it's also far too ridiculous to be, not that. So that's kind of my issue with it. Like, you got a Tamagotchi killing someone, you have a VCR shooting out VHS tapes. It has all the makings of a really funny SNL digital short, which makes sense given that it is Kyle Mooney who is famous for those co-writing and directing it. You've even got, spoilers, Fred Durst playing himself in a manner that's hilarious because they don't even bother to de-age him. Like, he's definitely Fred Durst today, but he's supposed to be playing himself in 1999. And again, there's this weird trend of these, disaster horror movies that have to have a celebrity as themselves. See Tom Jones in Mars Attacks, see Bill Murray in Zombieland, and see Fred Durst in Y2K. Ultimately, you have to really suspend your disbelief. Again, you know what you're getting with this movie. You know that the way that all these computers in 1999 are actually talking to each other makes no sense whatsoever and defies all logic. And, just physically, how is that connecting to that? And it's not meant to be serious, but I feel like it doesn't go silly or ridiculous enough. It's almost like in so many comedies, particularly, I'm looking at you, romantic comedies, where they're funny for the first two acts, but then they realize, oh, we have to have some drama, and we have to some serious stuff happen, and they don't like each other for 10-15 minutes, and it's dramatic now because we think that that's what you need for a character arc, versus, say, something like Step Brothers, which trolls the very idea that you have to do that, and plays up that trope of going dramatic, but does so in an over-the-top, satirical, ridiculous, and hilarious way. So, is it a good movie? No. What movie are you watching? Is it trying to be a good movie? No.
Oh no, it's happening.
It's the most anti-A24 movie A24 has done. Which, again, I love their branching out, and I'm glad I saw it. It was fun, but I don't know that this is one I'm going to feel the need to revisit unless I'm having a New Year's party and it's a fun thing to put on. But hey, these are just my thoughts. This is just my rant. This is just my review. I'd love to know what you thought of Y2K. Let me know in the comments. Did you like it? What didn't you like about it? Whatever. Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may end up being caught in a robot apocalypse. And as always, every day is Halloween.